All right, guys, moving on to one of our favorite parts of the podcast. Listener submitted questions. For those of you who do not know, you can submit us questions through Twitter, Instagram, on our personal pages, on the podcast page. You can even hit us up on our Gmail, podontheprairie@gmail.com. So, Braden, you got the first one.
All right, starting it off, man. The first question of the day from Ryan Kennedy. It says, I teach eighth grade and I have a lot of kids trying to make it to your level. What advice would you give your eighth grade selves that you wish someone had given you? Well, Ryan, that's a great question.
Good
Um,
question.
I would say, man, oh man, that's a great question. There's a lot of stuff that you can give younger, a lot of great advice that you can give. But man, the biggest thing is just continuous, just have hunger to continuously improve, and then for me, refuse to be a victim of circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happens in life. A lot of adversity, man. A lot of adversity in your playing career. I know both of us have felt that, whether it's been like injuries or stuff not going your way. But you just gotta put your head down and keep on grinding. You gotta work hard for what you want in life. So it's not going to be easy, but you just kind of gotta keep on digging.
I think that if you were to tell them to outwork their competition, so outwork their peers, outwork their AAU team or football travel team or whatever it is, ask them, are they trying to find ways to be better than the people around them? And I think that forces the eighth grader or the kid to self-reflect. Then it forces them to think on their own. It's not, well, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that, because people can take that, but they may not listen. But if you can get a kid to think for themselves, it opens up an entire new window. And so I think that's something that would help them, just to get them to think on their own. What do they have to do to beat their own competition?
That's a great point. I would have to agree with you. I mean, I think the biggest thing as a young guy, as a young guy or girl, wanting to pursue any sport, it's hard to wrap your mind around how many people are exactly like you, maybe blessed with talent like might be really good at the game. It's hard to wrap your mind how many people are playing the game and how many people work just as hard as you do. So it's important to let them know that there's people on your team that you got to be better than, in your city, in your state, around the country, sometimes even around the globe. So I think that's important, but that's a great point.
For sure. Moving on to our next question, Garrett Purcell. It looks like you guys have so much fun playing football. Jeremiah, after his two TDs, reminded me of K1 smiling before throwing it deep. Where did you guys find your love for the game? Whoa, my love for the game. I don't think that I necessarily just found it in one specific moment. I think my approach to football at the very beginning was just obtaining a scholarship, because as a high school player, it's kind of stressful, especially when you're surrounded by guys who are getting scholarships to Bama, getting scholarships to Tennessee, and you haven't even received your first one yet. You don't really have love for the game at that point in time. You're like, man, like, what do I have to do to get better? So I think honestly, my love came once I received my first offer, and then I could just enjoy the game with my peers, enjoy the game with my coaches, live out all the dreams that I wanted to accomplish within football, especially my junior and senior year of high school. And that's when I truly enjoyed playing football, especially after I committed. All the weight of the world was off of my shoulders. All the stress of getting the offer and figuring out what my future would, behold. Once all that went out the door and I could just play ball, man, that's when I really loved football. That's when I knew this thing was for me. And so that's when I found my love, really, after I committed and played my senior year of high school. That's when I knew I could do this forever.
I'm gonna have to go a different direction than you, man. I started playing football really young, maybe like 3.5, 4 years old, man. and from day one, I always loved it. My dad is a big basketball guy, and my dad used to always tell me, "Watch, when you get older, you're gonna like basketball just like me." I used to tell him even from a young child, "No, I like football. I like football.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a football player when I grow up. I'm gonna go to the league." I told her you can, and everybody can fact check that with my mom, my stepdad, my dad. That has always been my deal, and I don't know, man. I think the thing I'm a really calm person off the field, but on the field, man, it just transforms me, man. I think the thing I love about the game is that the physicality of it. I love stuff like that. It turns me into like a like it makes me feel like I'm a soldier, like a gladiator, because that's essentially what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's modern day. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel invincible when you're
Yeah.
on that field, man. And I just love all the physicality, all the it's crazy to say, but all the pain that comes with it, man. Having to fight through injuries and stuff. Yeah, I know it's crazy to say, but when I had got my little ankle, I twisted my ankle in the game. If a lot of people probably don't know that. I twisted my ankle up in the game, bruised it up, whatever. But after that, man, that stuff really gets me going. I have no clue why. Like I love stuff like that, like fighting through
Yeah.
adversity, fighting through injuries, like all that stuff. That's why I love the game, man. I could have played a lot of other sports. I was good at a lot of other sports. I was good at baseball. I was good at basketball. I could run track, but none of them gave me any type of physicality or anything like that. So I never really loved them like that. So that's
Yeah.
why I love football.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Braden Willis loves being hurt.
I wouldn't say all that. I love
Yeah.
the pain. I wouldn't say injured wise. I do not want to do nothing with like last year
Yeah.
being injured. Did not enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Now I get what you're saying, bro. I can completely relate. Trust me, I've endured my nicks and bruises, so
Last
I guess
question, Jay.
it's only
Last
right
question.
that you get the
This one
last
comes
one.
from my lovely mother, actually.
Yeah.
Love you, mama. So this question comes from Rhonda Reddick. She said, "Do you pay attention to the weekly rankings?" Well, mom, no, I do not. I frankly don't care. She knows I don't care. I don't pay attention to anything that is what Jay Hertz calls "quote unquote" rat poison. I mean,
Rat poison.
anything regarding me, if I did well, anything regarding the team, I don't pay attention to none of that because I always feel like there is room to improve, and I always feel like Coach Riley says this a lot at a program like Oklahoma. When you win a game that everybody perceives as a good win, they perceive you to be the best team that has ever walked the face of the earth. When you lose a game that everybody thought you shouldn't have lost, everybody will say you're the worst team that has ever walked the face of the earth. So really, the outside stuff really doesn't matter to me. I just care about what my teammates feel about how we're doing and what my coaches feel about how we're doing. So
Yeah. Honestly, I don't have any more to add to that. You couldn't have said it any better. I don't pay attention to it either, simply because yeah, it's the exact same thing. The world is going to view you as the worst team ever when you lose, as the best team ever when you win. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're cold, and it changes week to week. So it's important to not get too high or get too low, and just to focus on what you have coming up every single week.